Okay, YouTubers, I wanted to start a little in-depth video on the 2245 Ruger. This is the target model, has the target barrel. This is the type of holster I have for this. Okay, it is a let's see, a Banshee. Okay, international holster. Okay, I'm going to take the gun out, lay it down. Okay, flip it over this way because I'm right-handed. The first thing you're going to notice about this gun, it's going to be slightly different than most of the other Ruger 2245s. This bull barrel unit has a fiber optic front sight, which I replaced from the standard. The back has a V-groove blade in it that I replaced. Also, this particular target model has Hogue rubber wraparound grips on it, and you'll see there is stainless steel hold downs for the grips. Those are Ed Brown's. Also, you'll notice something else on this gun. When I eject the magazine, it will come all the way out. Okay, that is because there was another modification done to this gun. Also, when I go like this and pull the trigger will fire. Also, if I put this back in, cock it back, drop the magazine out, I can just slightly pull back, it will fall, and it will click. Alright, so let's go ahead now, and first thing we are going to do is disassemble the gun. You will also notice in the disassembly of this gun, it is going to be easier. Okay, we make sure the magazine is removed. You press down the trigger. This will, you lift that up. Okay, all you have to do is you pull that down, the pin comes out. You notice also that pin comes out very easily, and the barrel almost just falls right off, because I actually have done some modifications to that. There is a little spring, okay, that comes out. You see that little spring there? Now this is the barrel, okay. As you can see, we'll pull the bolt out, and the bolt comes out. Fairly easy, straightforward disassembly. We're going to use a red light because it's a little bit better. If you look in there, you'll see the loaded chamber indicator in there. See that? Okay. I did not modify that for the chamber indicator. This is actually the registerable part of the gun, is the barrel. The actual number is right there. The whole barrel is registerable. The frame is not. You can buy these frames anyway, anywhere. I will show you modification first on the frame. Basically, the frame, I'm going to give you some light here. I'm using this one because my camera won't adjust to that. Normally, there is a, no, I won't even use that because you don't have to. I'll get to this to point with. Right in here is where your mag disconnect. There's usually a little longer piece of rod here. I actually cut that off. I'll put this back together. Okay, if you'll notice here, these parts all up in here have been polished. Back in where the sear is, it's been highly polished. The hammer I polished. Mainly on this, I took it apart, and where these surfaces meet here, the sear and the hammer, I polished these. I took this all out. This little part here that goes down, I'll press it. I polished that. I polished this little part. I polished up in here. I polished this where the barrel slides in, so it's softer and easier to slide in. If you'll notice here, let's see how loose this is. I'm going to move this. See, that doesn't come back down. There's no. I took the indent out of this. There's a little inside there. If you pull this out, there's a little indent. A little. Let me see if I got it here. Show you. Yeah, I do have it. Somewhere it's a little type, little spring-loaded. Let's see if we got it in here. I'm going to throw it away. Figure I was never going to use it. So. Oh, I might have it. Hold on. Oh, this is the old sight too. This is the old sight. If you see that, see, that's the old rear sight that I took out. The indent, I do not think I have that. But it's a little ball with a little spring in it. I didn't even heat it, so I didn't see it. Okay, either way, there's a little indent that goes behind here, and it's like a little ball. Okay, also you'll notice if you look in here, I'm going to push this up in here. You'll see some, let me get here. You'll see some teeth. See these teeth there? There's teeth. Okay. I have a little spring. And this little spring, I'll try to fit it as best I can for camera-wise to get in there first, and I'll show you. Okay, I'll put that spring lays right in there. See that spring? Okay, that spring. And what that spring does, it will push against here when the barrel is on, and this will allow the bolt to come forward and lock back. So I'm going to try to put that on there so you can see it. Okay, so as you see that, okay, so the spring basically goes back in like this. You put it like that. I have to tap it. I've got a little tool to tap it with. Okay, now as you can see, point in here. If you look in there, see the spring? The spring right there? Okay. That spring, I'm going to move it a little, you'll see it. See how that goes up and down? It gives you pressure that pushes this down so you can release your, so the bolt will release. Okay, now, like I say, another modification has been done to make the bolt easier to go back together. See straight through the hole? That hole has been drilled out with a drill the same size as this. What was happening, in the bottom here, there's metal. It goes through the barrel. There's a sleeve in there. And it was ever so off hitting that pin. And that was actually causing it to have it very hard because they peen these barrels on. And what happens, it's basically, you have two holes. See? That's how that, and let's picture this pin here. You know, this pin slides up through there into these two holes, and they're lined up like that, right? That's the base of the frame, that's the barrel, and that holds it down tight, and this just pushes in. But what happens is, when it's tight and you pull this out, okay, what happens, it shifts over like that. And it's very hard to get it back in. So if you stick a drill through and drill out this area, you're not drilling the barrel, you're just drilling that part there. See, that part is steel. You can probably see it's a little shiny because that's where I drilled it. So you're just drilling it out so you can fit this part in there. And you'll see, if you try that and do it, how easy that fits up in there. See, it just goes through very, very easy. So that's an easy fit. I wanted to show you that. And then, like, to put the barrel on, you just give it a tap, and it'll tap right in. Okay, so that's basically the items it did, and I will show you the grips after I get the gun back together. So basically, to put it back together, you're going to want to look in here. And you see the hammer? Well, that hammer, I'm going to try to do it this because my fingers are kind of big. It has to be down flat. So I pushed it down. You can put your finger in there, and it's supposed to be flat. You should be seeing it. There is a little piece of metal in the back hanging down. See that little piece dangling, that black piece there? That is supposed to be down like that flat. And the hammer is supposed to be like that, flat. The best way to do is you take your finger, push down a little like this. Then you do is you press the trigger, holding it like this. You take your bolt, get it in there the right way, guys. I always forget this part. Okay. You put your bolt back in with your finger holding, okay? You want to put your finger like this and hold it down. You want to look in there and make sure, like I say, you want to make sure that's down like that. Okay? You're going to want to take this pin, you want to line up with that hole. You want to just go up, it pops right in. Now you'll see this is very free flowing. See, there's no force here. You have to shake it because you want that little pin, you have to, while you're doing this, you got to shake it backwards. And what'll happen, you will get, now it will, see how that's like that? Now you'll have it in. Put it back, you'll see it'll fire, the gun is back together. Very simple. Well, like I say, in the back there, that little thing that dangles, like this, okay, is actually, when you put this piece in, it's got to go against that, and there'll be a little spring tension in there. Now it's actually together. Okay, what happens now? Okay, it's all cool. Everything's cool. Now what you can do, I want to show you on the grips. Okay, these did not have the standard replaceable grips on them, so I went and bought from Midway USA Ed Brown bushings, and you can call them. I have the Ed Brown bushings, and I got the number. You can shoot me an email or whatever. And these are, I bought the stainless steel to make them look pretty. So these are your bushings. And I'm going to pop this off. And you'll see in here that what I did is I sanded all this raised area off, put some bushings in here, a little bit J-way weld on each side. So now these are standard 1911 grips. I can just take those. You can basically put any 1911 grips in here. You just pop them on there. Like I say, these are Ed Brown stainless steel bushing screws. Put one in there. Put one in there. There, flip it over. Like I say, to put that, I was showing you that outline sight in the back. It's very easy to put in there. To change it to a V groove, because you will get a little bit better sight picture. This is a sight picture with that V groove. It'll look something like that. Right. Now this V groove, what you do, only to put that in there, you take this screw out. You unscrew it all the way, it'll come out. And then all you do is take there's a spring on this side. You take just a straight, like some people use a pin or something. You actually push that way, compress the spring, and you push and lift this out. It's a little bit of a pain. There's somebody actually that has some information on the internet, but it's pretty easy. You just unscrew this, and if you look in the hole, you'll see part of the spring. You lay something flat underneath there, and you compress the spring back, and then it gives you enough to pull this out. And I'll show you the old one, kind of how it looks, so you'll get a rough idea. And this is the old one here, and I'll pull it out of this little pack. Saved it. Okay, so it basically looks like this, if you see how that looks. Okay, and what it does, it goes right in there, see? So one side the spring pushes against, so you have to push this back and lift it out. It's not that hard. There's a few people like on the internet and on Yahoo and YouTube. There's people that's showing you how to do it. I kept this in the old site, and the old site was the old steel sites, which just look like this. That's what was on there, the old steel sites. I did buy a compensator for this that actually fits on there, but the compensator that I bought, I didn't like. It gets a lot of carbon in here, and lead buildup, and the barrel in front looks pretty bad. This is a Volcorson, and I really don't care for it. It's about $100, but I don't really care for it. And like I say, once you do those modifications, you should be ready to go. And I mean, the fit is really good on the gun. With polishing, all that has reduced the trigger pull. And like I say, when you do it in here, when you have your hole, I'm going to show you something here. You may have to, see how that's coming out there, that hole? You may have to sand the plastic down a little. I think that's what I have to do on mine. It was falling, but it's, I fire this thing a lot, so there, now it's coming right out, yeah. So sometimes, yeah, let's see now, with that, let me get this back up. That's how fast, see, it just comes right out. And like I say, you can, and then that will fire. So it's actually like a 45 now, but doing that with that spring, that's really a nice little feature in there. You can, we got the right side. Drop the magazine in first. and you could actually see the spring down in there. It's kind of buried, but see the spring? See, just keep eyeing that spring and I'll show you. See how that, it drops, and then you could just drop that. And then you're able to just fire that. But I wanted to kind of do an in-depth video on that, show you guys. There's really not many other modifications you do. This didn't come with the threaded barrel, but I think I've done quite a bit of it. The modifications are pretty easy. I could actually do the modifications for somebody if you're local to Florida. I wouldn't mind it. You know, just like $100 for my time. But I could do the, you know, I wouldn't give you the grips, but I could, if you had the fiber optics, I could put them on. But I could do the trigger job. I could do the magazine disconnect. Trigger job really helps it. You're smoothing out the internal parts on it. Pretty accurate. I actually took my NRA certification with this gun, and the NRA certification, you're required to do 50 yards at a 9-inch pipe plate, just like a regular pipe plate, a 9-inch diameter one. But you have to keep within 4-inch groups, 6 shots. So it's be pretty tight, and you have to be pretty accurate. This is a pretty accurate gun, but I wanted to show you that and let you know. Anybody has a question or concern, but modifying that, it's just a dream come true. It was so easy to do it, and I couldn't have done it without all the smart people up on YouTube, all the tips and people. You know, there's a lot of great smart people out with their YouTube videos, and I just basically did everything that they did, and it wasn't a lot of work. I would have to say the hardest part was to get this pin, the bolt, to be able to get it out easy. That was the hardest part on this weapon. But I wanted to show you that, and like I say, with this I used the 22 long rifle ammunition on it, and I really haven't had any problems with it. But just a video, I wanted to show you. Tell me what you think, and hope this is educational and it's helped everybody else. Thank you. Have a great day.